All right. We're lit up like a Christmas tree here today. We're going to go over a special called Life's Too Short. You never know when you're going to go. Life's too short. So, we're going to run this deal. This is a online only training deal. This is not for in-person. This is not in-person training. I'm going to say that one more time because someone's going to say it to me. This is not in-person. This is not one-on-ones. This is just online training. 6 months nutrition, 6 months training program, right? 1 month supply of protein powder will be shipped to you. 1 month supply of fat burner will be shipped to you. 1 month supply of pre-workout will be shipped to you. 4 month supply of creatine will be shipped to you. The deal is for $1,000. You get all that. Up to 6 months in training program, up to 6 months in nutrition program, 1 month supply of protein, 1 month supply of fat burner, 1 month supply of pre-workout, 4 month supply of creatine. The price again is $1,000. I will do it for 10 people. It will also put you at the end of the 6 months in contention for sponsorship if you compete. If you do not compete, you don't get any type of sponsorship or have a chance to get any type of sponsorship. That's what I'm willing to put on the table. That's what I'm willing to do for anyone who has the belief in themselves, in the belief that they're going to take a chance with me to get them there. And I know if you listen to exactly what I say, you can win any contest feasible, for the specific body type or whatever you're going to do. Will this be all the supplements anyone needs to do a contest? Yeah, right. If anyone thinks that you can compete in a bodybuilding show and you're not going to spend thousands of dollars on food and supplements, you're out of your mind. Because you can't compete and win, okay, without at least having protein powder, creatine, fat burner, a multivitamin. There's a bunch of stuff that you need because when you're on a contest diet to get that low in body fat, you cannot eat the amount of minerals that your body needs. You cannot eat the minerals and all the micro and macro nutrients that your body needs. It's impossible. You have to feed it amino acids and a bunch of different stuff and all the stuff I have listed. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because people don't understand what you need to do. These things make it so that your body doesn't lose all the muscle. So all the years and hours you train in the gym aren't wasted. You need supplements. You need food. Without them, you cannot compete. It will not happen. You are chasing a dream that doesn't exist. If you think you can get everything in food, good luck. I don't know anyone who ever won a show or even placed in the top 5 who did not take any type of supplements. People during a contest will have a whole entire duffel bag full of supplements that they're taking. You can't do a contest without supplementation. Anyone who thinks or says that they can is lying because I've done this for over 20-something years. I've never, ever seen anyone. The people who aren't taking supplements are taking steroids. It's that simple. And most of the people who take steroids take supplements with the steroids. So it's like people don't understand. You're reading too much stuff on the internet, and this is not from people who actually really compete. This is from people with super good genetics who got lucky but took steroids and are lying, or they're from people who take a shit ton of supplements and are lying. Because again, I have never in my entire life ever been to a contest, and I competed 27 bodybuilding shows, and I was a coach for bodybuilding shows for over 10 years, bringing people to shows, actually 20 years, bringing people to shows when I had teams of 10 and 15 people, and we would talk to all kinds of people, meet all kinds of people. Even the girls are on like 10 different supplements. So please, if you think you're competing and you are gonna do this with no supplements, and first off, supplements are just food alternatives for the nutrition plan. They're not drugs. You're not putting anything illegal into your body. You're taking something because you're taking out so much. That is the reason why you take supplements. You can't put in the right foods for those macronutrients and nutrients because you couldn't eat that way to look a certain way for a show. Eating for a show is not exactly the most healthiest thing. This is the facts. So again, I'm going to read this off. The deal is $1,000. Most coaches charge $1,200 for nutrition plan alone. $1,000, 6 months training plan, 6 months nutrition plan, 1 month supply of protein, 1 month supply of fat burner, 1 month supply pre-workout, 4 month supply creatine. If you want a non-stim pre-workout, that's fine, I have them. I'll give you the 1 month. If you want a stim pre-workout, I got them. No problem. We'll send it. There's no other fees. That's what you get, period. If you compete and you go to the show and you compete, even if you finish in last place, if you look good and you looked amazing, but you might have finished last, who knows what, the show had 10 guys who were unbelievable and you just weren't there yet, but you looked unbelievable, you still might get sponsored. That is what we're doing, okay? That's what I'm willing to do for you. Now, are you willing to put yourself on the line and go do what you need to do? If it's ever been a dream, this is the chance you have to do it with a coach who actually knows what he's doing. I do not take on tons of people. I like 10 in-persons, 10 online. That's all I'm gonna do. So I will offer this for the first 10 people who do it. That's it. 10 people who do it. No more than 10, because I don't want any more than that. Now, if you're doing in person, this is not the deal. In-person training is totally separate. You're looking at just the training is going to be about $1,500 a month. That's if you come 4 times. If you're doing 5 times, you're looking at like $1,700 to $1,800. It's a little cheaper overall. Is doing the 5 times, but that's what you're looking at. We don't do nutrition plans included in in-person training. It's just, I don't do that. In-person training is in-person training. That's what you pay for. One-on-one training, nothing else. You get way more out of one-on-one training because I can specifically see everything that's going on and specifically see how to train you correctly along with the movement, squeezing the muscle, etc., etc., etc. Now, the other things we're talking about is we have situations where people don't end up competing at the end of this. That doesn't help me out in any way, right? Because I need people to compete, again, under me so that they then tell their friends and tell everyone that this guy is the guy to get you ready for the contest. And not take what keeps happening is I see people who I trained for contests who win competitions, keep going, right? I'll stop training them, but they keep going, and then they become a champion or, a pro. And this is just not, I'm just not excluding bodybuilding. This is powerlifting, strongman. And then they will pretend that I don't even know them. I never existed. I don't know them. I never trained them, ever. When I set the whole groundwork for what was to happen later. So that is super annoying. And I don't want to call out people, but I mean, the people that were real good, I got pictures of them, autographed. It's when people tried to not sign things or say things. It's kind of stupid. But I have an entire box, bigger than the screen, like that big, that high, full of pictures of people I trained. So when anyone tries to tell, try to say that they did everything on their own by themselves, don't believe that for one bit. This is the one sport, well, powerlifting and bodybuilding, you can be good at powerlifting naturally. You could be okay at bodybuilding naturally, but you won't be a champion without anyone helping you in bodybuilding. It's not going to happen. And the same thing for powerlifting, because you need to learn technique. If you don't learn technique in powerlifting, you'll never, ever, ever be the best, or even close to a top guy. When you are in bodybuilding, you don't know how to pose. You can't teach yourself how to pose by watching videos. That won't happen. You can't teach yourself transitional body poses. You might, say 1 in a million gets lucky at doing transitions, but you won't know transition posing. How are you going to know how to do a nutrition plan or a diet for a contest? It's completely different than nutrition plans. How are you going to get ready? How do you know how to put on oil? How do you know how you feel during the diet? How do you know when it's wrong when you feel something? How do you know when it's right when you're feeling this way? How do you know how much protein to take on a certain day? How do you know how to drop your cardio or bring it back up? You don't know these things. Trial and error does not work for bodybuilding shows. It doesn't. You need someone who already knows what they're doing and can help your body go through the whole process. You know your body best at certain things, but you don't know how to make your body compete and look a certain way. It's what the coach has to do. Okay? You can look at people that the coach trained to see how they got certain people in shape, but I would look back and try to look at that person, what they looked like. I wouldn't even ask them a question because people lie all the time. Again, I've seen people recently on the internet talk about how great they are now, mind you, 20 years or 10 years later, how great they are now, how they got to a certain point and that they had no help whatsoever. So that stuff is just a kick in the teeth, and you're supposed to give homage to all the people who helped you. It's like saying that Arnold Schwarzenegger was just Arnold Schwarzenegger by himself. He had no help. Joe Weider did so much for Arnold Schwarzenegger. He wouldn't be anywhere without Joe Weider. If you go to, every guy, man, that's why people revered him so much in general. But the guys who trained with Vince and slapped Vince in the face because Joe Weider bought him. Vince was training all the guys. Vince trained Arnold before Joe Weider grabbed him. Joe Weider wasn't training Arnold. Joe Weider was helping Arnold with posing and helping Arnold with placing and helped Arnold with this is the way you should look, okay? Vince Gironda was the guy training all the pro bodybuilders, all the Hollywood actors. He is the guy who knew how to train them. He is the guy who invented the bodybuilding diet. He is the first guy with ripped abs on stage, seriously conditioning his legs, conditioning his abs, and it looked like a bodybuilding physique. He is the guy who Larry Scott came out of. There's so many people, we could just sit here. It's all Mr. Americas. Because before Mr. Olympia, they just had Mr. America, Mr. Universe. And you were limited to how many times you could win it. I believe you could only win Mr. America once or twice. I think only one person won it twice. And then you can only win Mr. Universe. These people were 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25 years old, and they were retired. There was nothing else for them to do. You need to learn the history of bodybuilding to understand how it evolved. And if this is something that you want to do. People don't even know who John Grimek is. John Grimek is the inventor of posing, really. Transitional posing, all the great poses that you see in classic physique, this guy invented them all. He is basically before even Joe Weider starts publishing. So these are being published in the first bodybuilding magazines. I have the first bodybuilding magazine ever published, which I believe is 1923. This is before Iron Man. So This is the stuff you need to learn. So you got all these guys who learned how to pose, who invented posing. You got classical posing, and then you got bodybuilding posing. You need to understand that the coach is going to look at your body and figure out where you fit. If you want to do bodybuilding, but you shouldn't do bodybuilding, you need to listen to your coach. If you want to do physique, but you don't fit physique, your coach has to be able to see that. These are things you guys are going to talk about. Posing takes months of training. And, that's not included in this. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to add 2 months of posing training to that list. 2 months of posing training to that list so that you can learn how to pose correctly. 2 months of posing training. I mean, this is stuff that, I don't know, man. It's unfathomable that someone would just sign up for contests and think that you can just eat some food and work out and you get in shape because someone told you. You need to do a lot more than that. The training aspect of it is very important, and to neglect it is as important as neglecting the diet. But without the nutrition, there is no chance of competing. Absolutely no chance. If you are over the age of 25 and you are not God-given genetic gift, you just can't hop on stage. I've done it because I was 18 years old. Okay? I was 18 and didn't know what I was doing. And placed top 3. I got 3rd. I should have got 2nd. I got 3rd. The guy who won first ended up becoming a pro bodybuilder. So, and I'm talking NPC. So you never know who you're going to compete. You never know who's at your first show. And that was my first show. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I learned from going to the show and talking to people, and they also paid for people to teach us how to pose. That was a different type of show back then. They don't do that stuff anymore because there's coaches. And the coaches are the ones who make them all the money because that's who brings them their clients, basically. The competitors are their client. Without the competitors, there is no competition. And the more competitors they have, the more money they make. And they want to make as much money as possible because there's not that many shows, and shows are not easy to put on. I was a promoter. I put on shows for bodybuilding 7 years. And I was a judge, and I was the chairman for the state, and a couple of states actually, but it is very difficult to put on a bodybuilding show. It takes a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of work, and it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to run them because you have to rent theaters, and they're not cheap, and you have to hire help. So it's not cheap to do these things. So you have to understand that if you want to make money from this, if you want to become successful in it, you have to invest in yourself. I'm making this very simple. I'm making this way cost effective comparatively to anyone else. So again, the deal is $1,000, 6 months of training. This is programmed, 6 months of nutrition programmed, 1 month supply protein, 1 month supply fat burn, 1 month supply pre-workout, 4 months supply of creatine, and we're adding 2 months of posing. And then we'll end up sponsoring someone from the whole thing after 10 people compete. And figure out from there. So if you want to be part of a team, if you want to be part of something bigger than you and also compete and do something that maybe was a dream, right? Dream of yours. This is your chance. This is your chance to get in and get in way more affordable than anyone else and get my brain on top of it. And I understand because I haven't done YouTube videos in a long time, and I haven't done all this stuff or kept up with it because I was so busy from moving my gym. And if you watch the videos and just listen, you'll learn things and understand the knowledge that I have for this type of stuff, and competitively, you can compare it to anybody. I will, basically, the reason why some people don't like me is I call people out. I used to call people out all the time. Like, you're a horrible trainer. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You just get people who are already good, pulling the same thing that Joe Weider did, and then you just claiming that you did everything for them. But you didn't do shit. It's the people like me that did all the hard work with them when they weren't good, and molded them to get them so where they are good, and then they just need polish, right? So I do like working with people at the beginning of their careers. I really enjoy it. It's easier to help someone get to the top quicker if they haven't had other coaches. That is the best way for me to explain this to you, because I'll be able to do it starting from scratch correctly from the beginning. All the people I had that went professional the quickest, like in 3 contests or less, were the people that I got right at the beginning who didn't have other idiots screwing up their technique in lifting, or their nutrition programs weren't destroyed or just absolutely mucked up, and who hadn't taken millions of different supplements that don't work. So if you're shopping at GNC for supplements, 99% of GNC is crap. Most of the stuff in there is junk. The pre-workouts are okay somewhat, depending on which one you're getting. You got a few bars that are good, but the company itself, GNC, is owned by China and is pollution in general. Until they get bought out by an American company again and they remake the products in America and stop putting talcum powder in their multivitamins and all the other bullshit that they're putting in their products, they are just straight garbage. You can go to the store and look, it will say talc right on the back of the boxes as an other ingredient or added ingredient in the multivitamins used as coloring. That is in China, being made in China. And if you're taking those supplements now, throw them in the trash. Look at their amino acids. They're made from soybean oil. They're not real amino acids. They are straight up trash. Throw them in the trash, because that's what they are. You don't know anything about supplements. I worked for the supplement companies. I was sponsored by the supplement companies. I started my own supplement company when the supplement companies got bought out and started polluting products. And that's why I made an organic company that doesn't have additives and junk in it. There's a reason why I did it, because it was needed. Not because I went to go make $1 million. If I want to make a bunch of money and was trying to just make money, I would mass produce my products and sell them on Amazon and just undercut the price and go for the best possible price with the best taste. Is that something to do that's commemorative, or is I'm going to be remembered as a great person? No. That's immorally incorrect. It's immoral and it's non-ethical. If you are out to just make money, like the marketing companies that you're buying from, that are selling you sugar water and some caffeine, that's what you want to be fooled into buying because you like the taste. You got to balls up. You got to man up or chick up. That's a good one. You got to chick up. Grab your balls, put them in place, and hold your chin up, because you're going to take it on the chin and take the taste. All right? You got to learn to love some bad tasting shit, because a lot of things that are good for you don't taste that great. That's a fact. That is the rule of all old supplements. Original supplements in the early 90s, before 88, 89, around there, when supplements started coming out as protein powders were more available and cheaper, because protein powders used to cost like $80. What it does now, actually. Used to cost what it costs now, until about 1991, 92, when Designer Protein became readily available. Designer Protein was driving to farms and picking up all the way that the farm would just use as fertilizer or throw out. They used to throw out the whey that was left over when they were skimming the milk. And Designer Whey Protein was getting the protein for free. Designer Whey Protein you could buy for $16 for a 2-pounder, that big. $16, and the flavor wasn't that bad. It was actually okay because it was so pure. It was coming straight from the farms in the United States. They started over flavoring things mid to late 90s, I'd say after Myoplex. The Myoplex products were excellent. The best protein that was ever made, personally, was probably the Metrics and the first Metrics packets that came out. Those came out in the mid 80s, but the ones that came out in the early 90s to late 90s, especially Wildberry, I can make the best shake ever. I worked at a gym and made shakes, and that shake, I could drink 2 of those a day without being bloated. It's because the protein was so pure, and because they were getting protein for free. They were getting whey protein for free, so the prices weren't insane. Now, everyone's paying for everything, so the prices are a lot higher. The farms got smart and wondered why we were giving away the stuff that these guys are just bottling up and selling. That's basically what happened, so you guys understand. Everyone's been taking protein powder, literally since before Arnold. If those guys say they weren't, they're lying. The good supplements back in the day were just super, super expensive. Like Lou Ferrigno and Pumping Iron is taking a bunch of supplements. Those are all vitamins. But if you try to look at the name, I forget the name of the company, they are very, very expensive at that time. They're like $60 a bottle, and he had like 10 bottles. So you can understand he's spending $600 on vitamins. When you hear like Tom Platt say that he took $300 worth for a cycle before a contest, think of this. $300 in 1980 is equivalent to like $5,000 today, I'd say. Or like, let's just lowball it. Say it's like $2,000. So he did $2,000 in 3 months of stuff that was 100% real back in there, because they didn't even need that was prescription, and there was no prescription needed. So it was, if you went to your doctor and said, yeah, I want to use these, they'll say, okay, here you go. And so you were getting them from a doctor. They weren't illegal. And the price, because there was no other use for it, was super cheap. So if you put all those things into today's market, you're talking about, he's spending $300. That is a lot of money on something that's almost like pharmaceutically $5 for a bottle. So how many bottles is he taking in 3 months time? Is he taking a bottle a day? These are the things I know this is like somewhat controversial in some ways, but I watch all these people's videos and I just straight up, it's like, you're trying to make yourself look good. Why are you lying about it? Number one. And number two, if you aren't lying about it, put things into perspective. If you spent $300 in 1981, $300, let's see, a brand new Mustang in 1981, I think is like $5,400. $5,400 for a brand new Mustang. A brand new Mustang today is like $34,000. So what is that? 6 to 7 times. So 6 to 7 times $300 is like $2,800. So you do things in perspective. The perspective of that is, I'm going by what he said. I'm going by exactly what he said. That's what he said he spent, and I'm putting it in perspective. Now, the supplements back then were super expensive. Like I said, vitamins were super expensive. The companies that we have today are super cheap. But you need to look at the company to see if it's reputable, because a lot of companies are just buying from what's called the Big Four. The Big Four make the supplements for all the same companies, and they're getting, they put on their own label. GNC does that. Optimum Nutrition makes half of the world's protein powder. So you're buying all these different brands, and they're all Optimum Nutrition protein, just so you know. It's called off-label. So this is how all these companies
get their supplements and make their supplements for you. I do not do that. I have companies that make some of my products that I can't make, multivitamins and stuff like that. They're very precise and it can be dangerous. So you have to have someone make them for you, but I use organic companies that are very small. Now, there are companies that got bought out, such as Innate. Innate was an unbelievable company from the Northeast, up in New Hampshire. I knew the guy who owned it. Originally, he invented a machine. They were melting down, they were getting the vitamins from this machine that would get vegetables and fruits that were going bad and getting the minerals and everything out of it, turning it to a juice and turning it to a pill. Unbelievable product. It is fucking trash now. If you buy that stuff, you're wasting your money. The company got bought out and it's straight trash. I will repeat, that company makes trash. That company made the best products ever made, better than even my company, but does not make anything that they used to make. They bought the company out, bought the machine, and destroyed it, basically. Anything that's good, they wanted to destroy. So that's one of the ones that got destroyed. I would not buy a thing from that company. They are straight trash. I do not sell anything from that company. I do not supply anything from that company, and I will not carry that company ever again. It's straight trash. It used to be great. But this is the stuff you have to keep up on. There's no way you could do it. You have to know people inside all the companies to keep up with all this stuff and track it. You can't just do it. And now, most of the companies have been bought out by marketing companies. So this is the reason why supplements have gotten a bad rap in the past 10 years, is because most of the supplement companies got bought out, which is true. Most of the supplement companies got denatured basically into making shit products or just the same thing photocopied with a different label. That is the same thing that's happening to your food. There is no difference. The same thing that's happening to your food. You know, you get an off-brand, it's the same stuff. It just might have one extra bad ingredient in it, like cornstarch or something like that. That's all they're adding to it after the batch is made. So the batch is made, they take theirs, throw some cornstarch in, then they make yours. You would think that would cost extra, but it costs less. What you're paying for is marketing. What you're paying for is all those TV commercials. Off-brand stuff, no TV commercials, no marketing. It's in the store, it's your store brand. That is how all this stuff works. This is simple, okay? I'm explaining it to you so you understand. When you buy from small companies, those companies do small batches most of the time. People like me that are real independents, small companies, that's what we do. But there are very few of us. And the people that are running these companies are usually dudes who are jacked, who are just juicing. And that's what they do to make it appeal to everyone or look like it's the supplements. And then they off-market and off-brand. Even Rich Piana did it, guys. Rich Piana's products at the beginning were a lot better than they did as they evolved. The products became mass-marketed, and they're just the same as everyone else's. The pre-workouts being made by the same people, comes in a black, no label. You get to pick what's in there. That's pretty much it. It's not like you're really making it. It's all being made for you by these companies. And when I first started back in 2004, my first company, which wasn't PDG Labs, it was my first company. I learned from working for ProLab at that time. But when I made my first product, I hired one of these companies to do it for me. And I fought them the whole way to put in what I just wanted and not add anything and other ingredients. And they fought me on it the whole way and tried to say it had to be there. So I didn't go with capsules. I didn't go with a pill. I went with a capsule, so I could avoid the filler that they add. And that's just how it works. That's just how it is. And that's the real truth. This is 100% learning for a lot of people out there who don't know anything. But again, I want to be your coach, okay? So I want to be your online coach. I want to help you compete. So the deal again, $1,000, 6 months training, 6 months nutrition, 1 month supply of protein, 1 month supply of fat burner, 1 month supply of pre-workout, 4 months supply of creatine, and 2 months of posing.
You made it pretty good.
There you go. So
we'll either put this on TikTok or we'll finish the video off with it. I know that looks insane. I just did back first off. Well, I don't even have a tricep pump, but I still can't get it fully. But I'm getting there. For my best pose, we're gonna do a weight check. This is just to see if I lost anything else. It's only Tuesday. I wouldn't say that I would. I have cheat meal this week. I did in the North End a cheat meal. I did have a cheat meal this week, a real one, which was spaghetti. I had actually grilled octopus, which isn't bad. But I did have, oh shit, that's 300. 300, but I'm wearing pants. So, pants and a t-shirt, this t-shirt is nothing. That's, you see that shit, right? That's 300. So I gained 2 pounds. I don't feel like I gained fat, so we will find that out in a second. I'm just proposing. And hopefully I gained it in my legs. I do feel better in the legs. Still don't feel strong. I feel like I actually have to work out hard. Like I'm actually trying to move the weight instead of just moving the weight like easy. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't. Well, probably don't understand that. Should I pose? Get these out of the way. I'm gonna sell this stuff so I can clean up. If you guys need any gym equipment, you're local to Massachusetts or Maine and New Hampshire. Let me know. I got some excess dumbbells that I want to sell and some weights. I got too much. I definitely don't need it. I got too much stuff. All right. This was abs and cardio today. Prior to back. I can almost hit it. There's no way it looks good with shirt off. But you know what? This is the first time I took my shirt off for a man, said Nasser El Samadi. Oh, Nasser. That's on a video somewhere. I forget one. I think it's 1996 Battle for Olympia. Too bad I can do this. But oh, cramp. I didn't drink enough water today. That right arm is cramping up. Oof. The one thing I gotta say is, I forgot to take the AO2, and I don't have that good of a pump. I have an overall body pump and a good back pump, but not like normal. It's also working out earlier in the day. I don't get as pumped. Well, this is a Tuesday. I don't want too much. Side poses aren't great yet. For me, they come in last, but I'll do it back. Double body before I put on the shirt and we'll be done. Let's see. You're right. hopefully, I'm starting to see muscles. I hear shit popping. I hear shit cracking and popping, like snap, crackle, pop. It's cold. It ain't warm. And it's snowing in Maine and Hampshire right now. Or in Mass, where it's only rained. Today is nice, but it's snowing up there. So, nothing to look forward to. Who the hell is texting me? Happy birthday. If you're way off.